Welcome to FFCC's Off the Menu with me, Minnie Jacob. Today we have with us a guest who's going to help us uncover some operational brilliance and show us how his brand has redefined what franchising stands for. He is an IIM graduate known for transforming concepts into scalable, high-performing brands. Meet Ciju Chandran, the COO of FiLLi Café. Welcome to the show, Ciju.
Thank you so much, Minnie. Thank you so much for having me here. It's a great pleasure to, be associated with brands like you and, to give some kind of knowledge about the industry. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you again. So let's dive right in. How long have you been with FiLLi Café?
So, Minnie, I have been associated with brand for last 7 years, and I have been in this region for last 20 years, almost 2 decades working with multiple international and homegrown concept. So 7 years back,
Wow.
I met Rafi Philly, and he shared his vision of taking this brand to a global level. So I thought, it excites me actually when he shared his vision, and it's been almost 7 years, and it's a wonderful journey. I mean, I'm so
Lovely.
happy to be part of Philly's growth journey. And as you know
That's
that,
lovely.
chief operating officer or any management level people, they will be always an invisible hand for the founders to, to
Right.
reach their vision to reality.
Right.
So far we are doing a great job, and thank you so much for asking.
Great. Lovely. 20 years in the industry. That's amazing. 2 decades. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you. Thank you.
7 years with FiLLi Café. How has the brand emerged in these last 7 years?
So, like any other homegrown concept, Philly is a 20 years old brand. It started from a roadside cafeteria where Rafi Philly has taken this brand to a global brand today. Today we are registered in more than 50 countries. We have got more than 100 plus outlets globally. How we run in UAE is majorly on a COCO model, which is company owned and company operated. And then outside UAE, we run a franchised operations, and currently, we are present in UK, US, Mauritius, Nepal. We
Wow.
recently start in India. Very soon, we'll be opening in Terminal 3, Delhi Airport.
Wow.
And locally and internationally, we are doing a great job. And we are so happy that, we are taking our traditional tea to global, as a global beverage.
No, absolutely. That sounds amazing, the kind of expansion that you're talking about. And you said you both have a company operated as well as a franchising model. And I have noticed that a lot of restaurant franchises struggle with maintaining that authenticity while scaling up, right?
Mhm.
So, how has FiLLi Cafe managed to expand so much and globally at that while keeping its brand identity intact?
Mm. See, many what happens, these days people don't invest a lot of time and effort on creating the brand. I'm not talking about any international brand. Let's say in last couple of years, you have seen a lot of local brands coming in, the homegrown concept, let's say whether it is in India or globally, there are lots of, local players coming in. But, all these owners lose their vision when it's come to franchising because they are in a very hurry to, start up maybe 5 or 10 outlets and then immediately start franchising, thinking about, that royalty and other incomes which they generate from the brand. See, first we have to understand that why I will take a franchisee. First, you are a successful model, right? So if you are a successful business model, if you are scalable, that is the time when you take brand to a franchising level, right? Let's say in Philly's contest, let's say 20, 15 years back, we also tried franchising and we failed a little bit. But the reason was we were forgetting the core issues of franchising. So when it's come to the franchising, let's say how closely you work with the franchisees, how you help them to, help in designing the store, how you make sure that someone who is visiting in a Philly Cafe UAE or someone visiting in any of our London or US outlet, how we can create a similar experience, right? So
Right.
for that, the number one thing is like we need to have a consistent product. Let's say the cup of saffron tea, which we serve here in UAE, it should give the same, nostalgic feeling. Oh, I'm sitting in Dubai and having my favorite cup of saffron, right? The
Yeah.
store design, the customer service, are the basic things, and then how we support our franchisees. Let's say sometimes what happen, once we do the franchisee agreement and all, then the franchisee think that, hey, I'm the local leader, so I know everything, let me run this brand, right? But in that contest, it's very difficult for brand to scale in their location. So what we do is that we have built a team where we, on a regular basis, we touch with the franchisees, and we always help them, support them to create their business plan, help them to hunt the right location. We make a SWOT analysis for, all of those locations. Definitely those people who are from that region, they have an expertise on the location and all, but still it's not always that they're, because we know the brand, it's our baby, we know that where it will perfectly fit in, what kind of customer we are looking, what kind of age category. It might be a very good place, maybe that location is not good for youngsters, right? So
Right.
we help them step by step to develop, FiLLi in those region. And the main important aspect is, as I told you, the supply chain, how we make sure that, we can help them in supporting all the supply chain. So when it's come to the high quality tea leaves, all our paper and packaging, how we can, because in every country the rules and regulations are totally different. So I will give you a good example. Like, let's say when we enter in Mauritian market, Mauritius itself is a small tea producing country, right? So the tea taxes in those countries are very high,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And then when we talk to the local authorities, then we realize that there is a small gap of window. Let's say from May to July is the 3 months where the country don't produce tea, or let's say that is the time they don't, harvest the tea leaves, and they allow
Oh,
any company to import tea leaves from other region. So
oh,
this
that's
is the only three
interesting.
months window when FiLLi can send their signature tea leaves to Mauritius, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So every
That's,
country has got some kind of
yeah,
rules and local authority things which we need to follow, or
right.
else we will fail.
Of course, of course. I mean, I guess if you didn't know about the small window that you had, then you wouldn't be able to take your signature teas there, right? So
Absolutely, absolutely.
one is the product, of course, but there's also like when you are spreading across different geographies, there's also that cohesive customer experience, like, right from, like you said, if you do it in London or if you do it in Dubai, from the design of the cafe to the way, say, saffron tea is served. So, how do you kind of maintain that customer experience across different
Yeah.
regions?
So in FiLLi, what almost like 60% of the products we send it to our franchises. Let's say whether it is the tea leaves or any core products associated with our tea and food. But we don't again restrict our franchisees to, go ahead with our 100% menu and offering. But all our signature products will be the core product in our menu. And the rest 40%, we localize the menu, right? So
Okay.
it will help, to maintain the brand identity. And the same time, when we adapt the local offerings, it help us to, not only bring new customers. For sure, the people who know FiLLi, definitely they are gonna come to our outlets, but there are a good chunk of people who don't know about the brand, and why and because of the local offering, definitely they will visit the outlet. So it's very important for us to localize sometimes, and to make sure
Right.
that, we adapt.
Local preferences. So, but then that must be making it all the more difficult to include the local preferences into the menu while retaining
Absolutely.
that whole brand
Yes, yes,
identity or the
yes, yes.
authenticity of the brand, right?
Yes, yes. So as I told you before, no, so we have a team, which reports directly to me, because see, I started my career as a chef initially, because I was
Mm-hmm.
an All India Chef Com winner also. So I have always that, passion of food and beverage, and so all this R&D team, my operations team who visit to for the pre-opening team of our franchisee, they directly report, and we make sure that we support as much as possible to our franchisees. Let's say around 15 days before our team visit the location, they understand, they help them to procure the product, and all the trials, trainings, everything is done, and they stay back for another 2 weeks, support them on a day-to-day operations. So these
Okay.
all are very, very important if you want to successfully build a franchising model.
Right.
Any time you give the franchisee an option, no, to run their own way, they will start selling whatever they want, because and
Right.
then you will lose the control, and it will be very difficult to scale the brand.
Right. So basically, what you're saying is that you need to maintain that relationship. You need to keep them empowered. You need to keep them
Absolutely.
aligned with what you feel is the brand so that
Absolutely.
everybody is a winner in this.
So all our core departments, so whenever we franchise, all our core department, let's say marketing, projects, operations, they all, talk to them on a daily basis before they start the stores, and then monthly, couple of times they discuss like what is the operation, if there is any operational hiccups, do they need to, like every 3 months, even in franchised operation also, we bring some limited time offering, so how we create
Oh,
that,
okay.
all those things. So the
Okay.
project will always keep a check on how the project is going, whether it is as per our brand guidelines. Marketing team always help them, to do their local, marketing support. So it's not like, Philly is known in UAE, so we will be not doing any kind of marketing in those regions. We try to, do a lot of local marketing to make sure that, people are aware of the brand and
Right.
and our offering.
Right, right. So you talked about adapting to the local preferences, right? Have you ever had a situation where you had to kind of put your foot down or take a tough call between preserving brand identity and integrity and adapting to the local preferences?
So I can give you a good example. Like when we opened our first outlet in Chennai. So the first location in Chennai was in Ashok Nagar, which is densely populated with Brahmins, right? And
Okay.
you are entering market who are like core filter coffee drinkers, right?
Right.
So I was just thinking with my R&D team here, how we are gonna do something different, how we can make sure that these people are also coming into our outlet. So we crafted a complete, let's say a Starbucks menu or a Costa menu, completely made with filter coffee. Let's say you will get a coffee frappe made with filter coffee. You have a ice filter coffee. You have a ice
Wow.
vanilla filter coffee. So someone, coffee and tea is something like, you go to a regular place, you are always a loyal customer to that. Let's say for a good filter coffee, you might be going to Sharona Bhavan or XYZ South Indian brands, right? But now I'm telling to those customer, hey, come to me. I have a good filter coffee also, right? But I will give you something different. Right? Come and try
Okay.
my filter coffee frappe. Come and try my, ice filter coffee. Right? So,
Okay.
so it was very exciting, and really it helped us a lot to bring those local audience and to bring that excitement in the market, and
Yeah. So how's
yeah. So let's say today in Philly's menu, like almost 60-70% of our offerings are non-veg. So when we know that, okay,
okay?
this is like, the people are vegetarian, so we had a lot of vegetarian food. So all
Okay.
this we need to adapt. I mean, we cannot be like,
Okay.
I'm the boss,
Of
I know
course.
everything, so I'm gonna win. So we definitely we have not only seen this in local brands, even international brands. Like you take any brand, man, Starbucks, Dunkin', they all are adapting.
Of course. Of
That's
course.
very, very important for survival of the brand. It's very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And how did that outlet in Chennai work? Did you
It's doing
get a
very
lot
good.
of,
Actually,
yeah?
yesterday we opened our fifth outlet.
Okay,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's wonderful. So how do you decide on which markets are ready for franchising? Is there a criteria, a technique, or something that you use?
See, as I told you, we are registered in more than 50 countries, right? So when we register our brand in these 15 countries, we have done our own, R&Ds on those markets. Right, as I told you, if if you think this product is or this brand is a right fit to that market, that is the time we create that entire ecosystem, which includes the supply chain, which include finding the right partners who know that market very well, and and we will see that how good is this brand with the lifestyle compatibility of those. So let's say example of US, right? The people who are living in New York and people who are living in Texas, even though it's US, but the
But
lifestyle
it's
is completely different, right?
right.
US also we entered from Texas, where a good number of Asian audience are there, and it's very important to do a R&D before you enter any market. So brand awareness, we
Right.
need to create the brand awareness, and that's how,
To do that. Right, right. You talked about failure earlier. You said that initially you had started franchising and it didn't really go well. So how did it like kind of shape the legacy that you're now building? What did you kind of learn from it, or how did that become a turning point?
So as I told, first we need to make a successful model, right? How we make a successful model? So first is a right team. It's very important, right? A team which who understand the brand's vision. Let's say our vision is to, to make the most admired tea brand, right? By uniting the people with the love of chai, right? So it's
Right,
not only today you come to Philly, it's not about only chai. So we have good, global street food which we serve, right? We
right,
have an iced chai, we have an iced tea, we have like almost 18 different varieties of, tea powders and tea bags which we are selling across our outlets. Today, Philly is in retail. So you go to Carrefour, Lulu, Spinneys, you can buy Philly tea powders, right? So that team, that supply chain, that brand identity is very important before we start franchising. That right SOPs, that right standard, the brand guidelines is very, very important for us. So for not only for us, for anyone who has got an ambition of going for a franchising kind of thing. So
right.
we have done in last couple of years, and it is giving a good results now. So and we all are happy.
Great.
So in coming years, like let's say next 3 years, we are planning to open another 100 outlets globally, and in UAE, we are planning another 50 outlets.
Wow, that's sounding grand. That's
Yeah, yeah.
amazing. And so
Thank you,
what would
thank you.
be the last question for you? What's one bold move you hope Philly Cafe will make in the next decade that could redefine the way we think about cafes altogether?
We have been traveling globally, yeah, and one of the biggest challenge today, any service industry is facing is a right manpower or right human resources, right? There is no loyalty factor. If you see, I mean, like, in let's say when I came in Dubai in 2016, mm, the most of the rules were more of employer friendly. So now it's more of employee friendly, right? So it is
Right,
one way it is good, but other way, people keep on, jumping from one brand to other brand. All right. And it's not only the issue of UAE or XYZ country. I mean, globally, there is a big challenge in getting the right talent. Right.
right.
Everybody is over ambitious. Most of the people, think about from the day one to become an entrepreneur or a owner to start his own business. So that is one of the biggest challenge. So definitely we are planning like a store without a barista, maybe completely a robot or a AI driven kind of concept. And not only that, we have an ambition of creating a Philly tea experience center where, so today if I will ask you, teas from which country, maximum you might be telling India, China. There are so many
Yeah.
countries which makes beautiful tea. Yeah, right. So we want to
Okay.
create an experience center where people can come to Dubai, and Dubai has got a very good tea culture. Let's say Karak is favorite of any local, right? And the same
Right,
time, chai is always our favorite drink also. So we want to
right.
create a experience center where anyone who don't know anything about tea, after visiting this experience center, he will be taking a lot of insight about the tea industry. Let's say,
Wonderful.
from a complete tea processing from different kinds of the tea across all over the world. You can taste it, you can feel it. So that's what even we are planning. Soon we are already working on it. So
Wow.
hopefully, like, with God's
That
blessing, we will
sounds
start that also.
Absolutely. That sounds wonderful. And I'm excited to see that for
Thank you so
sure.
much.
And
Thank you
I'm
so much.
sure even the viewers would be. So wish you the very best for not just expanding globally, but also creating these new concepts. So an outlet without a barista and all on robots is also something very interesting, definitely. So all the best, Siju, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, and all the best with your podcast. Thank you.